Hi, I'm Dr. Minette Riordan with North Texas Kids and NorthTexasKids.com. We're bringing you another great video with some super fun tips and information. My guest today is Yvonne Sanders with Slimming World, which is a brand new program to this area within the last 3 to 6 months.
Yes, it is. At the end of 2009 we moved to America after 41 years in the UK. So although new to America, not new at all.
Not new at all. And so they have some really amazing programs for weight loss. And I asked Yvonne to come in and talk today. If you've been following my blog, I posted an article that a friend of ours, Jeff Curley, sent out about a potential lawsuit against McDonald's. And the point of the lawsuit was they were trying to get them to ban toys in the Happy Meals, because they said that was encouraging kids and parents to buy junky food. And my take on it is, as parents, it's our responsibility what we feed our kids. You guys, most of you know, if you're following me, that I've been on a journey all this year to lose weight, find out what's going on, why I can't. Love programs like Slimming World because they're all about real food. You don't get people eating junk. It's not prepackaged. It's all healthy. You teach us how to eat normally. And as a parent, a busy parent, it's a struggle to know what to feed our kids. So I've asked Yvonne to come in and kind of talk about what's going on out there right now, and to share with us some tips on how to say no to our kids when we go to the grocery store and they want to buy that box of mac and cheese with SpongeBob on the front. So Yvonne, take it away.
Take it away. Okay, well, you know, I was an overweight child myself. So I come from a place of, I know how it feels to be a child and to be overweight and to be bullied at school. And now, you know, I'm a mum. I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it's been an interesting journey for me too, you know, since they were born. And just this last couple of weeks, I've been asked so many times to comment and talk about the McDonald's case and the cartoon character case, and I get quite cross really because, you know, McDonald's, I know it's hard because they're everywhere and the advertising's everywhere.
And it's easy. I mean, there's no doubt it's so easy to just drive through and grab something quick. You're busy, you're in between sports events and this practice and that camp. It is very convenient.
It really is. What I've been saying to people is one Happy Meal out of the whole week isn't going to make your child obese or overweight. It's not that. We've got to look closer to home, which is hard to do, you know, but we've got to start with ourselves, because education of our children starts with us, with the parents. And this is what I feel is always lacking when we hear these stories about McDonald's, about the cartoon characters. We're always blaming somebody else, apart from the people who are responsible for the planning, shopping, cooking and eating of the family's food intake that week.
And a lot of us do. Once our kids get to be school age, we rely on the school systems to feed our kids at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And there have been some great new things come out lately from Jamie Oliver and the Two Angry Moms movie that came out last year about how bad the school lunches are. But, you know, the way I combat that is I don't let my kids eat at school. You know, I know it's convenient, it's harder for my husband and I, and it's more expensive to prepare food at home. But can I tell you that in the last 2 years, my kids have not been sick one day.
Really?
No, not at all.
That's amazing. I love Jamie Oliver and what he does. You know, I know he was really successful in the UK when he launched the same school lunch campaign. Yeah, absolutely. And I know he found it more difficult to try and change thinking and mentality in America, but he's stuck with it. He's very resilient, and I think anything that he can do to raise awareness to school lunches and to the problem with childhood obesity is a really good thing. So,
but it's only one problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. So going back then to the grocery store shopping, I was talking to a lady the other day that was really struggling with, you know, the kids running amok in the grocery store. I want the SpongeBob mac and cheese, and I want this and I want that. And I told her that what would work for me, and it won't necessarily work for everyone, you've got to find, of course, what works for you, is that my 3-year-old and my 9-year-old, because this is what we've kind of done with him anyway, we get them involved in the writing of the shopping list at home. So
that's a great tip.
Yeah, and it's quite fun as well.
Yes, especially as they're learning to write, and they think my kids think it's thrilling to be able to write the grocery list themselves.
Absolutely. I remember my Thomas, my 9-year-old, when he was really little and he couldn't wait to be able to write. He couldn't wait to be able to read on his own, and now he loves it. So yeah, it's kind of a fun thing that we do. We think about what we want to eat for the week ahead, and we look in the fridge. Do we need milk? Do we need eggs? What do we need? And they write out a list. My 9-year-old's getting a bit past it now, I have to say. It's not quite cool enough.
Oh, that's funny. My 11-year-old still, he doesn't grumble about it. You know, I'll be the one standing there at the refrigerator and open the door, say, okay, Connor, go find a piece of paper and can you add the milk and the butter and whatever else we need.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we go to the grocery store, and the little 3-year-old has his little shopping cart, which is so cool. We don't have those in England. Yeah, they're brilliant. And off we go with our list. They've got their list, I've got my list, and round we go. And what seems to work is that if they're tempted by something that's not on the list, I say, is it on the list? And they'll say no, and we'll move on. And I think because I started that strong with it, it's been easier to do that. But you know, one mac and cheese, one box of mac and cheese, like I said with the Happy Meal, it's not going to make them overweight. The thing is, if you find yourself with one of those in your pantry, then all you need to do is not make it with the butter and the oil that it asks for, because that's what's quite amazing about some of these processed foods. No, they're not the best choice. But what gets me is how they ask you to add like a cup of margarine and a cup of oil and a cup of cream and a cup of...
Which seems just
absolutely
over the top and unnecessary.
It's so like calories on top of calories on top of calories.
What do you add instead?
Milk, you know, milk's good for kids to give them healthy bones and joints and things. So just milk, that's all you need.
You don't even need to add butter or oil.
You really don't.
And it still tastes good and nobody complains.
Yeah. I mean, so, even better is making it yourself fresh,
and
of course.
I remember, so I grew up Catholic, and on Fridays, when we'd go stay with my aunt, and we would eat meat on Fridays. And my mom, she never cooked prepackaged food at all, so I kind of grew up eating that way anyway.
Yeah.
But my aunt would always make us mac and cheese, and she would add tuna fish, and we loved that. And if we were really lucky, she would crinkle potato chips on the top. And we still think that's an extremely decadent meal, but you know, it was smart on her part by adding the tuna or adding a little ground beef, adding some protein. One of the hardest things I find to feed my daughter, in particular my son eats anything, but my daughter, she would eat pasta and sauce all day long, every meal, every day. And so getting the protein and the vegetables, I've learned to get really creative about hiding them in other things. So,
really?
What
kind of things?
Oh, spaghetti sauce in particular. When I make spaghetti sauce, and I use turkey or a combination of turkey and beef, but I always chop up spinach and add it in there. I'm careful not to add too much. They know what's in there. I love to put zucchini, sometimes carrots, lots of onions and garlic and fresh herbs, but in particular just getting the spinach in there, which is a hard one to get them to eat. I do that with meatloaf as well. I'll grind up, so I'll put kale in there, I'll put all kinds of crazy things in there and grind them up really fine in the food processor. So, and the kids don't complain because then you can't really taste them, but you're getting them in there. And when you tell them it's in there, then they get used to hearing the names of those foods. Oh yeah, well I've tried that before. Because sometimes the hardest challenge is getting them to try new things.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah, they just assume they don't like it because they never tried it.
Definitely. One of the fun things that we like to do is to make homemade pizza. You know, you can get like those flat out breads, the flat breads. They make an excellent pizza base.
And they're a little bit thinner, not like those great big chunky bogly ones that are
absolutely. So you get the flat bread, and then you've got to open your can of tomato sauce. You know, without the sugar and stuff added, you don't need that. Just the tomato sauce.
So we could do a whole session just on reading the labels and making sure we're avoiding sugar and high fructose corn syrup and all of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you just need some herbs into it, you know, some oregano or some Italian seasoning. So we've got that in a bowl, and then we've got some, you know, cheese grated in a bowl, and we've got maybe some chicken or some pineapple or whatever, you know, we might fancy to put on our pizza. And myself and the boys will sit around the table and we'll make our own pizza and bake it. And there is nothing that they love more than watching their pizza being cooked and the satisfaction of taking their pizza out the oven and eating their pizza.
Right, absolutely.
So they get to have pizza.
So having them be very participatory in the whole process, from the shopping to the preparation to the actual cooking time, is a big way to get them involved.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing with something like that, people say I haven't got the time, and I do understand, you know, being a busy working mum myself, but I've timed it. And actually the time to do that is no more time than the time it takes to run over to Papa John's or you know, to pick up the phone, find the number, phone
you know what,
it,
we're
and have it
out of
delivered.
time. We're going to run out of the end of our YouTube video here. So Yvonne, we're going to come back and do